We call that heavy rescue, and we take that on like car accidents or structure fires, or it holds a lot of our equipment.
I've been in there. It's kind of neat. I don't think I ever.
You really don't want to be. I was going to say. It is locked down. When we take it out, we just pull that handle. Takes one person can do it, but it's easier with two.
So how long have you been working with this?
30 years. Yeah.
Wow. Time kind of flies, doesn't it?
It sure does.
30 years. Wow. So mostly when you go on an actual call, how many are there?
It depends on who's available. When people are working or working out of town, of course, they can't respond.
Right.
But typically, there are 4 or 5 of us if it's a medical call.
Okay.
If it's a car accident, firemen will show up, and sometimes firemen will come help us if we need help lifting a heavy person.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you hear the thing, which way do you run to? Do you run down to this, or do you just head right to the?
Well, it depends. We have, on our phones, we have I am responding, and we will get a text message alerting us that there may be or will be a call. And then sometimes it'll give us time to get to the station before they actually page it out. But we don't respond until it's paged out, until we get the tone. Up here we have masks if we need to help a dog or a cat, if from a fire, if they need oxygen.
That's pretty cool. I didn't think that would ever be in there.
And we have our nasals and cannulas to hook up to the oxygen.
To the working fire, or?
Yes, or Lincoln County Communications. Or the Coast Guard. There's many working channels on there.
I can see myself. So what makes you kind of do this?
I don't know. It's just an interest, giving back to the community, just satisfying knowing you're helping somebody.
Yeah, I can understand that. I used to be on the fire department years ago, but then I left town. I was on one of the calls where the lady died down at the lighthouse. She was washed overboard
Okay.
with her 2 other kids, and the extra kids lived, and the father lived in I was right there to watch him haul her up out of the water. So
That's tough.
yeah, so I have a lot of. You guys have to look at things that you don't want to go.
Yes, not all of our calls have happy endings.
Yeah.
Some of them are tough.
So how do you handle that?
Well, in some cases we have what's called a debriefing, where it's informal, but we'll sit around and talk about the call, not critique it, but just talk about the parts that we played, and it helps us to gain a better understanding. Yeah, it's just a debriefing.
Yeah. So this time of year, you must get a lot more action than during the winter months.
Yeah, with tourists, a lot more people in town.
Yeah. Busy for us all, I think. Then with the house fires the last month, we've been very hard to hit.
And that's not normal. You know, typically a fire, maybe one a year,
Yeah.
but we've had 3 recently. We don't transport to the hospital.
So,
Typically, we don't. We just get a patient ready for CLC ambulance. They're the transporting service. We would only transport if all of the ambulances were being used or if there happened to be a mass casualty and a lot of people needed to be transported. But our role is to get the patient ready for the ambulance.
okay.
They respond to the call at the same time we do. They respond. It takes them a little bit longer usually, but sometimes they are there before we are.
Yeah.
Yep. And if they don't need us, they'll let us know and we'll just turn and head back.
Okay.
Usually, Life Flight will land at Miles Hospital, but if they needed to land in town, the school is a designated area.
So, do your kids help out in this too? Are they involved?
No, 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 they didn't take an interest in it.
And your mother and father didn't?
No,
You're the lone wolf.
I am.
Well, thank you for that. It's nice to have a neighbor that is out there watching out for us.
I guess the reason I got interested, one of the reasons was my grandfather had an accident, and I just remember how kind and caring the first responders were and helpful. I was just impressed by them, and it's like that would be a good group to be a part of. Yeah,
When,
that was
well, that was
like 30. Gosh, about 30 years ago.
That wasn't when he went overboard.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
can you tell me a little bit more about that? How it happened and
We're not really sure. It wasn't witnessed, but we think that he rowed out to his lobster boat and was getting aboard his boat. There was a heavy frost that morning, and it's believed that he slipped.
hi. So then they went out looking for him, or what?
Some neighbors heard his cry for help, and alerted my brother, who helped. Yeah. We not only do we help, patients medically. We're here for the firemen if they should get injured, in a fire, like a structure fire. We keep water bottles. We have to keep them hydrated, and we have to make sure their heart rate is down to an acceptable level before they're allowed to go back into the fire. There's a lot of paperwork. Yeah, we have to fill out our run forms. We keep extra run forms here if we have, 2 or 3 people in a car accident. And we have an online form that we do for the state. Paul does a lot of that now.
Yeah, that must
Yeah.
help.
Yeah. But sometimes the paperwork takes longer than taking care of the patient.
Go in until there's an actual cop there. That's going to be nerve-wracking.
Sometimes that happens. Our safety always has to come first. You know, scene safety. If it's not safe for any of us to go in on a scene, we have to wait until it is safe.
Yeah.
There have been calls down at Pembroke Point Lighthouse. People have gone off the rocks. And if it's not safe for us to take a boat out there, then we can't. Yeah. And we have an Avon boat.
Avon calling? What's an Avon boat? I said you gotta find out what this is about.
Well, I can ask him.
That's okay. Well,
I'm not sure. Let me ask him. Troy, what rescue boats do we have? The Avon?
We have the Avon and we have Marine One, which is the Boston Whaler.
Okay. So what is the Avon? Is just
a little
floatable.
inflatable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Avon is inflatable. If we were the patient at a car accident and it's really hot outside, we would bring them in here because it's air conditioned and gives them their privacy.
there's a triad.
There's a triathlon. Yeah, we could have people stand by for that.
Round Pond Parade.
We're there for the Round Pond Parade for mostly traffic control, or if somebody is injured, we're able to get at them quickly with the four-wheelers. We have a monthly business meeting every month, and usually we try to fit in a training with that as well, because we have to have so many hours to recertify. We recertify every 3 years. So training is ongoing. And it's rewarding most of the time.
It's like
But
anything else. You gotta have-
it's filling that service. It's needed. We've got to take care of our own.